Well, good Tuesday evening, everyone. Todd Warren here on Facebook Live tonight with a live update on the weather here across the Arklatex. Going to take you out a couple of weeks eventually in grain of salt time. Until then, we are still looking at the possibility for some strong to severe thunderstorms across the area here as we go into Thursday night, and Friday. And I'll have the latest on the outlooks from the Storm Prediction Center, and of course, the latest run of Futurecast is in. I'll show you where the storms will be heaviest and how long they'll last. It's not really very pretty. How much rain we could see, and of course, we're now close enough to the event that at least for Thursday, we have some sense of the degree of the tornado and hail threat. At least that depiction from Futurecast, and I'll share that with you coming up as well. After this front moves through, the front that's going to cause the thunderstorms, we will see a beautiful weekend, although a bit on the cool side for this time of year. Will gradually warm up next week, and it is not looking good next week, as much of the week will have at least some chance of rain. And I'll show you the latest from the blend of longer range models on our 10-day rainfall total, which doesn't look very pretty either. So not a whole lot good to talk about tonight, unfortunately. If you have a question or a comment, feel free to ask away. If you just want to say hi, that's fine too. It is tradition to begin the festivities with our hellos. So Gary is first on board tonight. Hello there, Gary. Betty, hello. Renee, hello. Brian, greetings. Rusty, good evening to you. Jesse, hello. Marnita, hello to you as well. And start you off tonight with a look at time lapse from our camera there in Coshada, Louisiana. You can see that it is showing again the a beautiful sunset that took place, as we did see quite a few clouds over the southern sections of the Arklatex. Those clouds have begun to decrease, and we can see the clearing trend. And again, it looks to be a little virga there on that lower deck of clouds. So again, all the precipitation we had earlier is pretty much wrapped up, and it looks like we're going to kind of settle into a quiet day tomorrow in advance of those storms which are on the way for Thursday. So here's a look at the weather pattern across the country here, and you can see that the area of high pressure over northern Florida, that's moved far enough to the west that we have seen the south winds kick in, and those winds will increase tomorrow as we start off with the early typical low clouds that you get around here when you have a south wind. Those will burn off, giving way to some sunshine tomorrow afternoon. And you can see that area of low pressure moving up through Iowa. There's the trailing cold front. That's the front that's going to move in to our area. Still staying a little bit to our north and west during the day Thursday. And we will see the threat for some thunderstorms begin to enter our area Thursday. And then this frontal system will begin to move southward. And as we go into basically Thursday night, another area of low pressure will develop along that front, and it will slide its way basically through the area Friday. So this front is going to kind of approach the area, slow down, and then once this low forms, then we'll get that push through the region during the day Friday. And it's not until this frontal system passes that we will see the severe weather threat kind of wind down here. So that's what we're kind of looking at as far as the timing of this frontal system. And again, behind this front, this is going to be some much cooler air that'll work in for the weekend. But never fear, we will see the warmer temperatures and the rain eventually return. Latest on the severe weather threat, this is the outlook issued earlier, actually last night, for our area. And you can see it does include a level 2 slight risk for northeast Texas, northwest Louisiana, actually most of the Arklatex. The outskirts do have a marginal risk where the severe weather threat will be more isolated in nature. And all of that will shift to the south heading into Friday. I suspect we might see this get expanded a bit more to the north for Friday. We'll see whether it does or not. It doesn't make any difference. I'm going to show you the latest here from Futurecast in a second. And it does still look like all severe weather threats will be on the table. I think our most widespread issue is probably going to be a strong wind, although some hail and maybe a tornado or two will be possible. That's what we're kind of looking at. So let me move on and show you, first of all, the timing of things here with Robbins Toyota Futurecast. And you can see that Going through the nighttime hours tonight, that decrease in clouds that we've seen this evening will reverse itself, and we will see the low clouds return to the area by morning. Notice the arrows. They're going to get bigger. And tomorrow, that tells you that the south wind is going to increase, and that's going to help bring back some sunshine tomorrow afternoon, and also combine with that sunshine with the wind to bring us some warmer temperatures. We'll be well into the 80s for highs pretty much area-wide for tomorrow. Tomorrow night with the south wind, the low clouds will once again return, and then Thursday, during the afternoon, things start to go downhill a bit. You can see the development of the scattered showers and thunderstorms. This run of Futurecast a little bit further to the southeast into East Texas and northwest Louisiana with some of the stronger storms, at least more widespread stronger storms. You can see a few other storms still over the northern sections of the area. These storms will move east, and then you can see with the frontal system, according to Futurecast, right about in here, we could see some new development during the nighttime hours Thursday night. And as I move this to the longer range, you can see how that matches up, but we lose all the detail. These thunderstorms will move to the south and east during the nighttime hours Thursday night. Probably will weaken some as they do so. And then with that low forming, we might see the front actually ease back a bit to the north, and then we'll get that final push Friday as that frontal system moves through, and another possibility for some thunderstorms across the area. Oh no, Sarah, hello. I was just thinking, if he doesn't come on tonight, I'm going to say something. Gary is here. I was just thinking about you. I was getting concerned, Gary, that something might have happened. Gary is back. It has been a while. I'm doing well. Hopefully you are doing the same, Sarah. 48 degrees, but it feels like 42, Sarah says, there in Brooklyn. And Sarah, looks like you're going to be pretty quiet here for the next few days. And Gary, as always, this time of year, you're getting into your quiet part of the year, so to speak, as far as the weather, I think, in case you missed it earlier. All right, let's move ahead and talk about what we can expect here at home as far as, first of all, rotation. And I had this set up basically noon Thursday to 11 p.m. Futurecast only goes to 1 a.m., so we're not missing much. But you can kind of see the isolated nature of the potential rotations that form. Also notice that we're pretty much on the low end of the spectrum. What all this tells me is that tornadoes will be possible, but it's looking like not a very widespread issue. All right, so they could occur anywhere, but they should be somewhat isolated if we see any. So there will be some tornado threat, but it does look rather low. Now you might recall Friday night when I came on here and showed you the hail product from Futurecast, we had a lot of white and blacks in that. And of course we had numerous reports of large hail Saturday with those storms. And you can see hail is going to be possible. Maybe a few isolated reports of some severe hail, say quarter size, but it doesn't look like it's going to be quite as widespread of an issue as it was with the storms that quickly developed and moved out of the area last Saturday evening. So that's a look at the hail threat. That's one reason why I think of the issues, wind probably going to be the biggest concern here for the Arklatex. As far as rainfall, I'm going to show you the 2-day rainfall total here from Futurecast. This will take us through Thursday night. And I show you this because it shows more detail. Now, don't get too zeroed in on exact numbers. Just look at the extremes. You can see these orange areas here. That's 3 inches, I believe, maybe even 4. Let me see if I'm hesitant to click on that. I'm not going to do that. That's 2, 3, that's 4 inches. All right, so we could be looking at generally 1 to 2 inches. Again, we're not done yet. We still got more rain Friday, but a few isolated 3 to 4 inch totals from this high-res model could be a possibility. And just looking at the 4-day rain, again, this paints with a broader brush, so it doesn't show the detail, but you can see the areas of 2 inches. So generally speaking, an inch or 2, but we could have isolated spots that pick up, the 3, 4 inches as a possibility. All right, so that's what we're looking at in terms of the threats here with the frontal system that's coming in Thursday, Friday here in the Arklatex. Chris, No snow, Chris. I did not say the S word. No, I did not say that. Good evening, Crystal. Rusty says hello, Norm. Sarah, you're quite welcome. And Sarah and Gary, I will check your longer range stuff here in a second. All right, let's take a look at the 10-day pattern here, and this is going to take us out. And we'll see some relief from the rain this weekend. And you can see this big upper level trough moving into the upper Midwest. Doesn't look like it's going to go negative tilt until it moves by here. So that's a good thing for us. But it will move by again once we get past Friday. And you can see heading into Monday night, another chance of rain. Here's Tuesday. Here's Wednesday, still some chance of rain. Here's Thursday. And then it goes into Friday. So almost every day next week with this big upper level low possibly sitting over the upper Midwest. That'll keep a chance of rain in our weather picture here for much of next week. So if you add the rain from this cold front coming in to that which is possible next week, here's a look at a blend of the different models and the rainfall potential in the next 10 days. And you can see pretty much area wide, we're looking at least the northern half of the area, a good solid 2 to 3 inches. All right, actually area wide, 2 to 4 inches is a good way of putting it, with much of southwest Arkansas, southeast Oklahoma in that 3 to 4 plus inch range. So much of this obviously is going to come at the beginning of the period, but we could see another inch or so with the rain that is anticipated across the area next week. So that is the latest on the rainfall for the next 10 days. This will take us through next Friday, I believe. And as far as temperatures, these graphics have been causing me some issues with the lagging when I call them up. So we'll see if that happens again tonight. But you can see the GFS ensembles, the warm up tomorrow, rain cools us off Thursday, Friday. Behind the front, we cool off this weekend, and then we warm up again heading into the last week of the 2-week period. This will take us into May, and we'll probably settle into the low to middle 80s. Actually pretty close to normal by that time frame. 40s, models not quite as chilly as they were last night with what's on the way this weekend, but we will be looking at several nights with lows in the 40s. We should return to the 50s next week. European ensembles, again, I've been adjusting the highs since they run a bit cool. So these are your adjusted highs, very similar to the GFS. And you can see the warm up, which will follow in that second week. And you can see the cooler temperatures heading into this weekend. Now, we did earlier today have some, that's why I turned it to the radar so that it would stop lagging. So I apologize for the lag. This computer that I'm using is going to be replaced soon. So I think that will solve the issue because this computer is 5 years old. But nonetheless, that will probably solve it. That's one reason why I went back to the straight camera, trying to see if that would fix the issue. Obviously, it didn't. I think it's actually an internet issue, to be honest with you, is what's causing that, because it seems to come and go. Thanks for that bit of information, Rusty. That helps. Audio's good. So, all right. So I'll just leave it here on the radar as I look at some of your questions. And Sarah and Gary, in the meantime, let me look at your numbers here. And I do have those punched up. Sarah, looks like your next chance of rain will be Saturday and Sunday. You'll stay dry for until Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week, and then you're dry for a couple days after that. A good 1.5 to 2 inches for you. Gary, is it all goose eggs? All goose eggs, Gary. Surprise! As far as temperatures, Sarah, you're looking at temperatures. Again, 60s tomorrow, close to 80 by Friday, cooling trend through the weekend, low 60s by Monday, and then pretty much mid to upper 60s rest of April through May. Lows 40s tonight, 60s by Saturday, and then you'll kind of settle into the 50s for the most part. Gary, as far as your temperatures, looking at 80s for the next few days, close to 100 this weekend for you, Gary. Lows will warm up close to 70, and you'll see highs in the 90s there in Palm Springs for the rest of April and obviously the first week of May. Pretty much low 90s is what this is showing. Lows in the low to middle 60s. So that's what our friends on the coasts can expect. That being said, see if we have any other questions. All right, so I don't see any other questions. So, in case you just tuned in, this is what we're looking at. I'm going to repeat this once again before I look at the forecast one more time. As we do have the slight risk for severe weather, it looks like the most active storms will be Thursday late afternoon, Thursday evening, decreasing Thursday night, and then we'll have to watch the southeastern corner of the area for maybe a few strong storms Friday. And again, we'll know more on Friday's threats with Futurecast tomorrow. Main concern here, it doesn't look like it's going to be, at least the hail potential won't be as high. The tornado potential is looking somewhat low, but they will be possible. Wind probably going to be our biggest concern for this upcoming round or two of severe weather. So that being said, your forecast for tonight looks like this. We will see a partly cloudy sky, but the clouds will eventually return tonight. And it won't be as cool, I should say, as we'll see lows in the mid to upper 50s, 55 in Natchitoches tonight, 58 in Shreveport, 59 degrees in Texarkana. Tomorrow we're going to be looking at temperatures that will be warming up as we will hit the low to middle 80s, 83 in Texarkana, 85 in Shreveport, and 85 also for the high temperature in Natchitoches. And 10-day forecasts, there's a lot of stuff on this graphic, so you're probably going to see a lag here once again. So again, you can see the cool down, very similar to what I showed you with the ensembles. Back to the 60s for this weekend for daytime highs. Lows will eventually cool to the 40s. There's that good chance of rain, especially in the middle part of next week, Tuesday, Wednesday. A little too early, not too concerned actually about severe weather at this point. We'll see highs gradually warming up next week to the upper 70s, low 80s. Lows begin in the 40s, should warm back up and close to 60 by the end of the week. So that is a look at what we're expecting here for the next 10 days. Lots of rain. And again, that's one thing I didn't mention in my recap. Generally speaking, an inch or two Thursday, Friday. Pretty much area-wide, that's a possibility. We could have isolated spots that pick up 2 to 4. That's what Futurecast is kind of indicating. What speed? Betty, severe thunderstorms. Tomorrow we're probably looking at sustained 15, gusts to 25, if that's what you're asking. Winds with the storms, probably your general severe. Gusts over 60 is what most of the severe thunderstorms probably would result in. Chris wants the dad joke of the night. So Chris, I do have one. So, did you hear about the new corduroy pillows? Did you hear about those? You didn't? I'm surprised. They're making headlines everywhere. And on that note, I will sign off for tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to tune in tonight at 9 on Fox as well as at 10 on NBC6 for all the latest information. And may take a look at the Zero Z HR run that will go out through Thursday evening. So I'll take a look at that and see what it's showing in terms of the rotation aspect of that. And if it's a lot different than Futurecast, I may show that on the air tonight at 10. So again, thanks for tuning in. I'll give you another live update tomorrow evening at this time. Until then, have a great night and get outside tomorrow and enjoy that sunshine and warmer temperatures. Good night.